right, good evening, everybody. It's Snipes and
Flem.
over here at Athlete Squad, or the Kentucky Bourbon Boys. We're making our second podcast. Well, I guess it'd be technically our third, but it's our second official one. Today we're bringing, as y'all saw on Twitter, if you're on there. If not, we will link it somewhere, maybe. What we got today is 10-year Basil Hayden. Flem hit me up and said, hey, this liquor store right here by my house, they got a 10-year Basil Hayden. You want me to snag it? I said, yeah. I haven't had too many of the Haydens, so we're really excited to try this. So basically what we're going to do to kick it off is, this is their, I guess it's like their special edition. So I'm going to kind of read it off, and then like what they say it is, and then we'll kind of give our own opinions on it, Kentucky Bourbon Boy style.
Yep.
We have Flem made us custom cups for old Christmas.
Oh yeah.
You can't really see it from the camera there, but it's got our names on them. Maybe we get a picture posted on Twitter or something.
And they're perfect bourbon glasses, like absolute perfect. I don't know if you can hear this. That rattle. It's got a nice ring to it.
All right, so it says here it's crafted using a high rye bourbon, which we already knew that. It's super unique. It was released 10 years, complexity and deeper flavor to an already intriguing spirit, is what it says on the front. So if that doesn't get you wanting to try this, I don't know what else will. Plus, I mean, it looks beautiful. It's a little darker than your average Basil Hayden, but it's a little more aged, so that's typically how that kind of stuff works. So on the back here it says, aged for 10 years in the foothills of Kentucky, this golden amber bourbon offers a rare take on the Basil Hayden's bourbon you love, featuring big oak in all caps, aromas with hints of char, vanilla, and rye. The wood flavors are complemented by a perfect balance of caramel sweetness and rye spice, bottled at a smooth 80 proof and finished in lightly smoky with a subtle hint of char, a memorable final note for an exceptional spirit. The best part is we get to drink some of this, and then we're going to eat 2 New York strips immediately afterwards.
Hey, that
so
is
it
the
doesn't
truth.
really get much better than that. Yeah, so we're going to get it open, and while I'm doing that, Flem's going to kind of give a quick overview of what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, so while I do this.
So, 2 things. One being the 2 ingredients that stood out to me the most when you were reading that off, Cody, was you said caramel at one point, and you also said vanilla. Immediately, those both hit my taste buds without even being there. But the second thing being, as Cody or Snipes mentioned, ooh,
Damn, there you go. It's like smelling a butthole.
booking stinks.
Y'all hear that?
There's a few topics we're going to be speaking about. Most of them are going to relate to each other towards the end, so feel free to stay tuned for that. We are going to be talking about how gaming and mental illness pair with one another, as well as how they relate to creating lifelong friendships in the end. It should be very, very well laid out. We're going to bullshit. We're going to explain, much like our previous podcast. If you guys didn't listen to that, I'll link it down below. But we spoke about how we've grown as a friend for one another over the last even year, if not more than that, especially after TwitchCon, which we told you guys in the last one. We got a ton of stories for that. You'll probably hear us at least address that a couple times throughout the next few podcasts. But
We'll probably reference it like every single podcast.
because it was just me and him meeting a bunch of people we have never met before in person and hanging out with them for an entire week. It was awesome. But where would you like to start, man? I mean,
I'd like to start with a quick taste test. I don't know about you all. I have to wake up early as balls tomorrow, so we're gonna try it. Y'all heard the pop. Now we're gonna give her a nice little taste. Usually we don't do ice cubes, but we said fuck it today.
Facts.
So, cheers to everybody out there. We got the 10-year Basil Hayden. Here we go. You can definitely. It's definitely very smoky.
yes, you can definitely taste the smoky flavor that he referenced to on the bottle. Shadow, you can't have none of that, Bubby. But he is. He's like, please let me do the taste test. I smell the vanilla.
Let me look it.
It's definitely got like a smooth taste going in, and then it's got a little bit of I want to say like a soft punch, because it's not very stout. That's very good to sip on. But as he mentioned when he was reading the bottle, there's a lot of ingredients that are kind of blended together that kind of give you a big hit, I guess you could say. You're getting hit with a lot of different flavors, confusing. I don't know how. I honestly don't know how to explain it more than that. Do you?
It's like your taste buds just got slapped in the lips, and they don't know what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, it was like.
It's like if you had a steak and you had too many seasonings on it at one time.
Yes.
But it tasted good.
Yes.
But there was just a lot. So, which don't do that, by the way.
There's so many options to choose from. Why can't we just put them all?
Yeah, it seemed to me personally, at the end is when you got that vanilla caramel taste.
Yes.
But the initial taste is like purely like you just took your glass and put it straight in the bourbon barrel, and was like that kind of tasted like wood.
Yes.
You know, but not like you went outside and took a bite out of like a log or something like that. But that's real smoky flavor, like kind of. I guess I'll compare steak again. Like if you cooked it over open, like on
open flame.
Yeah, open flame or on the chips or whatever. Yeah, that's how that was really good. But considering it was only 80 proof, I wasn't expecting it to like
knock your socks
haymaker
off,
my ass. But because I'll tell you what, Will Stag Jr. If I can get my hands on it, we will try it. But I can't promise you that podcast will last long because that clock's in at a fat 136 something. I'm pretty sure that motherfucker. It's like and just slap the fuck out of you.
I guess the next question would be, how would you relate this to our previous podcast companion being Blanton's?
See, I don't really think this touches the blends because I do prefer a stronger bourbon. Like when it hits me every now and then, I want to be like, I want to have that stank face. Like, damn, that shit actually just, that kind of burned a little. Some people don't like the burn. Mm-hmm. Me personally, like, I think my first sip, now something like this is something you could just make a glass of and you're chilling and doing whatever. But if I'm going to get something that's kind of kicking me off or whatever, something like a Blanton's would be perfect. Or anything above really 90 proof is ready. You know, she's out there. Another one probably got her new riff single barrel. We intended to do that. I finished the bottle, so we didn't quite get that onto the show.
We need to get the shame in the comments.
But we got some coming. The next one we're gonna have a guest on here at my brother-in-law Turbo. He bought us a bottle for the podcast, and it's Woodford Reserve Double Oak. I've never had it. I don't think Flem ever had it.
Let's emphasize that he said double oaked. It's just gonna slap.
And we don't even know what that means. So, yeah, like we've said previously, we're not professionals at this, you know what I'm saying? We do enjoy Bourbon Line, and we're learning more and more and more. Yeah, so I think we're going to kind of dive into it. The first thing we wanted to talk about is we kind of laid it out by objectives, like specifically we want to talk about, because last time we do think we were all over the place, which is fine, but we kind of want to get a little more focused, that way we can at least stay on track. But considering like who we are, I'm surprised we're going to try to do this, so we'll see how we do this. The first thing is we're going to talk about fitness and what a healthy lifestyle looks like and how it can fit into everybody's lives, no matter how busy you may think you are. There's some options to be fit, or at least increase your heart rate every now and then, because your heart is the most important muscle in your body. It pumps everything. It's literally your workhorse. It's the mitochondria of your body. You know what I'm saying?
Back in my day, you know it's gonna pump these up, baby.
Yeah, so obviously for me and Flem, we're both younger males, alpha. We work out pretty much daily, but we also have our streams where we're not going as often, or we're not as motivated. by, you're like, all right, I'm ready to kind of get back at it. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, now let's kick our ass for the slack we were putting in last time.
Versus someone like my mom. I'll use my mom for example. She's got multiple kids, including myself. I don't depend on her anymore. She's still got my sister, my other brother. She still goes to the gym when she has time. She works in the hospital. Especially with all the COVID stuff going on, she still has found a way to make a little bit of time, at least once a week, to get in the gym. Rather she just hop on the treadmill and walk. Most people are like, oh no, you could do that right outside your house. But for her, that's a chance to get away from it. Like, you're not seeing the neighborhood, you're not seeing the houses, you're not seeing the neighbors, you're not seeing your kids. It's not that. Friends, especially if you are someone that's like us, that's more active. If you have someone who is constantly talking about wanting to get in the gym, encourage them. You know, like tell them like you can do this. You'll get through it. If they start struggling a little bit or start doubting themselves, hey, remind them this isn't you snap your fingers and you're there where you want to be. For example, I started in the gym at 110 pounds, looking like gross.
Like this dynamite stick right here.
Gross. My max weight is 156, and right now I'm at like 145. So, but that's where we're gonna kind of get into like the mental health stuff, because I fell off for a little bit in the gym and not eating especially, and lost some weight. But we're back at it now. I've gained about 4 or 5 pounds, and hopefully we'll be back up there soon. But yeah, so I'll kind of let Flem get into it a little bit, but that's how I feel on it. I think everybody has time, whether you're a working mother or you're a single man or whatever. It don't take much, you can. In between commercial breaks, or if you get clapped early on Warzone like we do, you can get down and bust out 10, 15 push-ups. Like, it's not that tough, And at that point, you understand you're not trying to get a barrel chest from doing 15, 20 push-ups between games, but also if the next time you pick up something, it's not gonna be like, fuck, my pec.
It's gonna be a little easier.
Yeah,
a little easier.
Keeps
each time more, but. Chat seems to think otherwise when I'm streaming. They like to hit me with push-ups back to back to back.
Fact.
And I'm especially when I'm playing Warzone.
I'm like, hey, Flem, what's up? Go ahead and knock out 20.
I was like, all right, I will after this game, and then I'll get clapped, and then I'm like, all right, do it now. I'm like, fuck. But as he was saying about fitness and motivating yourself, there's actually another key point we're going to talk about, and that is encouraging gamers, especially, to implement fitness into their lifestyles. There's actually been some studies done that has proven to increase performance in esports when integrating fitness into your lifestyle. And I'll potentially put this up on the screen here.
Or here.
Or here.
Or maybe there. But probably over there.
But after reading a few of the articles that people have put out for fitness and gaming and how the two are like supposed to be together to help benefit performance when actually competing in events and stuff, it is unmatched compared to those who don't. And a lot of that comes not only from the physical strength, but also the mental strength. You're putting yourself through a lot of stress on the mind, the body. You're pushing yourself to go to the gym. You're pushing yourself to crank them 90s as much as you can. You're doing everything in your power to get better. It's just, as the saying goes, practice makes perfect. And that works the same in the gym. He knows just as well as I do. Once you get to a certain point, you are running through the motions. You are trying a little less and a little less. And it's not because you don't want to. It's just you're not motivated enough. And I feel like being the people that we are, we're able to offer you guys encouragement on that. Whether you follow us on social media, you'll see us posting tweets or Instagram pictures on like progress pics or new personal records and different things that we've done. And I'm sure we'll try to inspire you guys the best that we can. I mean, this channel is called Athlete Squad, And we're bringing that to the bourbon world and trying to mash that together, as well as our next point, which I'll let Cody get into.
Yeah, so for the next one, we were going to just talk about how it's beneficial for gamers to begin integrating fitness into a daily routine. Now, we say daily, you're like, well, fuck, that's 7 days a week. I can't get in the gym every single day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Notice we didn't put gym fitness.
Yeah.
We just said integrating fitness into your daily routine, right? So that can be as far as simply when you wake up, stretch your body out, like break your lactic acid loose, get your muscles moving around, rotate your ankles, twist your wrists, rotate your neck. Because if you ever, like me especially, I wake up a lot of times and like my neck will be hurting. A big way to get away from that, or for it to not work or be like that as long, is to literally stretch your neck. It's not that hard. You just lean one way to the other. You have neck muscle, as weird as it may sound, especially some of y'all's mothers.
Oh, God.
And all you have to do is you just simply move your body around. Like, it's not that hard. It's literally meant to be moved. That's why we have joints. That's why we have ligaments. That's why I have all these fancy anatomy terms I wish I knew. But they all do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, we are a very complex species. And if you're not using it, then it goes, like, I guess, dormant in a sense. So if you're just constantly, when you wake up and you're just, like, stiff-necked and you're like, well, fuck it, I'm just fine with taking an ibuprofen or two. And hopefully that'll subside it instead of simply just doing this.
Yeah, which
for 30 seconds or whatever.
Not everyone, but a lot of people, even when they wake up, what's the first thing they do? Stretch, just...
And then sometimes you be stretching, your whole body's like...
Stretch like this, like that.
Yep, and then you go take a pee.
Facts.
Take a fat piss.
Every day. Men, you know what we're talking about.
Let's say that smoky ain't the only wood taste you get in the morning.
FBI, open up!
Huh? From the peanut gallery? Thank you. Yeah, but really, it's not as difficult as you think. How easy is it for you to sit down on Netflix and binge watch a TV show? Next thing you know, Netflix is like, are you still there? And you're like, fuck, am I?
Yeah, facts.
I don't even remember the last 3 episodes. Like, what the yeah, I'm here. Like, all right, I guess I got to rewind and catch up. Even in between episodes, like, they might be 30 minutes to an hour long, 20 minutes. Just say every time a new episode starts and it's like that fucking song that's going to get stuck in your head, whatever it may be, get down there and bust out 10 push-ups, sit-ups, jumping jacks, or just go in between. I'm going to sit down flat on the floor with my legs flat and I'm just going to try to touch my toes.
Exactly.
Do whatever you need to do it literally only benefits you. Now, if you have an injury, that's one thing. Like I remember back in college, like something was going on with my upper chest, and it had to have been from a deadlift. I'd pulled it, and I think I pulled my arm back too far, and it felt like I don't think it tore or ruptured or anything like that. I think it was just really wore out. So I skipped 2 chest days, and I did not just go to the gym. It's just when he was doing something, I was doing just significantly less weight. I went from like dumbbell pressing like 60s on the flat bench, I was just doing like 15 or 20 pounds. Because when you get injured, that's different. But that can't always be, I won't say as an excuse, but it's when you're feeling better, or you can't be like, oh, well, I always feel bad, blah, blah, blah. A lot of that might be because you're not moving. Like if you're not getting up and getting moving, or especially if you have a pet, go walking with your pet. Take them for a walk every day because they need the exercise as well, right? My German Shepherd's cracked. He gets all the exercise in the apartment he needs. He's fucking running, jumping on the couch, futon, floor, tackling my cat, tackling us. Goes outside, runs him a lap or 2, and then he's good. Then he's whooped. Like, I ain't saying it's like drugs or nothing, but Mountain Dew. I mean, it's borderline. It's borderline crack.
It might as well be.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
On that. If I get a 12-pack of Dew, if I don't stop myself, no one will.
It's tough. That's like, you buy a 2-liter, you're like, this will probably last me a couple days. Next thing you know, an hour or 2 later, the whole 2-liter's gone. It's just, you have to pay attention to the moderation side of things when you are putting I guess, your meals together. But we are not going to coach you on nutrition. That's not our forte for this. But
That's different than fitness. That is important to remember.
yes, 100% different. If you have a question about that, talk to your nutritionist or get you one. Something, internet, YouTube, Google, all that. But you come in here for the bourbon and the good times, and we gonna give them to you.
Hey, that's a fact. The big thing to take away from this is that we're not gonna sit here and act like we live this perfect, healthy lifestyle, because, bro, we don't. I know, especially I don't. It's
I
not.
definitely don't.
And some of you, like, if hopefully our audience starts growing, and some of you sitting there like, well, damn, Snipes, you're skinny. Well, for me, even if you should see how much I ate in college. It did not matter. My metabolism is just
Through the roof.
both fortunate and unfortunately super high. Fortunate in the sense I can just smash anything I want and I'm pretty much gang. Unfortunate because when I was really serious in college about the gym, it took me so long to gain just 1 pound. You know, it took forever, especially when hitting the gym was burning a lot of those calories on top of the metabolism. Because when I was sitting around my dorm room, I'm like, I'm gonna eat myself broke if I'm gonna try to get big. And I got 2 examples for this objective I'd love to give. And I don't know if they'll ever catch the podcast. You know, we put it out to all of our friends, but they're on like different ends of the scale. We have Alec Armstrong.
Very strong, very competition-based athlete.
You're talking macros. Every bit of his life is committed to just making every muscle on that man's body. He looked like a Greek god. I don't know what else to say. My man is fucking humongous. Like, there's nothing less to say. If you were like, hey, I want to compete with Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger,
This is the
man
route you're
hitting
gonna
up.
go.
That's the man you hitting up, and he's an awesome dude. And he's never like anytime I get demotivated, sometimes I just send him a quick selfie, and he's never like, well, he don't look like me, so he ain't fit. He's like, okay, bro, I see what the fucking back pump. Like, let's go, bro. Back goals. And it doesn't matter if you're as big as them or stronger than them. It's just complimenting someone, right? Because not all of us are the same. Like, not all of us look the same. Mm-hmm. He's got a bigger chest, but I'm strong. No, I'm just kidding. And then a really good example that I hope he catches the podcast is Ethan Moore.
Yes.
Huge gamer. My man will spank your ass in fucking Call of Duty. He does not give
No cap.
He will slap your ass, hop up, and scream at you with all love, though, and let you know he shit on you.
100%.
This man used to be humongous.
We're talking like huge.
And I don't even want to try to guess his weight because
Yeah.
he was huge. Because I really can't begin to guess because I never knew. I mean, him and I have never been like super close, but I love the dude. He's awesome. He's a super good gamer, good dude, good family, like that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I ran into him at Planet Fitness here in our hometown because we went to high school with him. And he just walks up to me. He's like, "Hey, Cody, how you doing?" My man looks like me now. And I was like, I mean, he's a little healthier weight on him.
Yeah.
I was like, Ethan? And he was like, yeah, what's up, man? I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Neither one of us recognized him as soon as he came up to us. He was like, yo, what's going on, bro? So we were like...
The majority of what he did was he chilled on the soft drinks while he was gaming and the snack foods. I mean, he still... Because it's always nice to have something like... Flem has some peanuts sitting on his gaming desk right now. Me, I usually have a glass of bourbon and I have some chips or something. Like, it's not that big of a deal. What he did is he said he just kind of cut that off. He started going to the gym, and all he started doing was simply walking on the treadmill. And then it started with more. Then it started with doing some lat pull downs. Because for a while, you have to build that energy back up. When you're not used to having it, you're going to walk in the gym and do like 2 things. You're going to be like, fuck.
I'm gassed.
And it's hard not to look at the more fit people in the gym and go, well, fuck, look what they're doing. I can't do that. In 6 months, you might be able to. In a year, you might be able to.
Going off of what he's saying right there. Earlier, he mentioned making it hard to gain weight no matter how much food you ate. Up until my sophomore year of college, I weighed 150 pounds flat. Now I'm at 185 consistently, like moving between 180 and 185 on a weekly basis probably. But I could not bench a 45-pound plate up until probably a little over a year ago.
Fact.
But now, as he mentioned, I'm going to the gym every day, most of the day. Most of the time I'm going at Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes Saturday. But I'm almost pushing 2 plates now on flat bench, which is a huge goal for me. I can actually unrack it by myself, get it all the way down, and now I'm getting it to about 60% by myself. And I think here in about 2, maybe 3 weeks, I should be there. I had a little less confidence in myself, going back to what we mentioned earlier. Like, a lot of times it's self-motivation. I felt like I was holding myself. As soon as I hit this wall, I couldn't pass.
Simply a mental block.
You shall not pass!
But I could not get past this point. And Cole kept telling me, which you guys know him if you've been following the channel for a while. Cole was actually one of the original guys that helped me start Athlete Squad. But me and him work out together every day. He told me, he was like, dude, I thought you had it. I was like, really? I didn't think I had it. So the last couple weeks I've been pushing, man. As soon as I come down, I'm trying to push it past that 60, 62, 63. Even if it's the smallest increment, I'm still trying to push. And that's what we want to emphasize to you guys when we're talking about fitness.
And eventually he'll get to like that 70 and he will accept nothing but to get it up.
Yeah.
Even if like, because now I've been doing it for a while. Most of the gyms I work out in are more of like a maintained gym. Like I'm more of a Planet Fitness gym kind of guy. I love free weight, don't get me wrong, but Planet Fitness max is at 75.
Yeah.
When we were at EKU, they went well above
It
that
was
shit.
like, I think
When we first started,
150?
when I first started lifting, I started lifting with 2 people, Scotty Thompson and Chris Metter, 2 guys that I love to death. They're fucking awesome dudes. At our old university or even now, like if you get it and you're fucking shaking and whatnot, don't think of that as I'm not getting it. That means like you're pushing through it, Or if you have to stop, then all you have to do is lower it back down and sit it. That's why I like dumbbells over flat bench or like regular benches, because there's a bar there. Then you have to try to like roll it off and hope the weight falls off. Mm-hmm. Versus dumbbells, you can lay it down and then just kind of drop it if it ever was too heavy for you.
Yeah.
Or have someone spot you. It doesn't matter. If you're in a gym 99% of the time, if you walk up to me and you're like, hey, can I spot you? The last thing that goes through my head is, well, how much weight are they trying?
Yeah.
I don't care if I walk over and you got 15s, if it means that I think you're not going to double punch yourself in the face with some dumbbells, don't matter if it's 75s or 15s. I got you for 10, 15 reps, whatever you're trying to go for. I do not care. Or even on a regular bench. Ask people for help. If you don't know how a machine works, ask somebody. If you don't know how to do correct push-ups, ask somebody. Our DMs, I know for sure, are always open. It takes us 2 seconds to set our phone down, put it on a timer, or take a quick recording, knock out 10, 15 good push-ups and send it to you. Or some air squats or, at-home workouts. If that's something y'all want, y'all let us know. We can do a podcast where we can do shit like that. In the beginning, we can show you some workouts, then we can enjoy some bourbon, and then we can fucking chill. Yeah, but that's how we look at it. So for me, especially, I knew I grew a lot, and I got to a really high point, and I had some mental health stuff going. I kind of came down a little, but now we back on the way up. Versus Flem, he got out of the gym when the kind of quarantine stuff started happening, and then gained a little weight, which I think was fine for him. And then now he's turning that weight that he did gain into muscle and, usable weight. So if you're like at 220 or even 300, like my brother, for example, weighs like 300 pounds. Once he starts driving it, because I know he's motivated in the gym, once he starts driving, he turns most of that weight into like about 200 pounds of muscle. He's going to be a scary
huge.
man. He's going to be humongous.
Huge.
But in a different way. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about motivation, baby. And our DMs are always open, and I'm up 24/7, unfortunately, it seems
Me
like.
too.
We probably sleep 4 or 5 hours a day. Recently, I've been sleeping a shit ton, but that's what we'll kind of be getting into in the future.
Even though I'm getting, at maximum, probably 5 hours of sleep a day, I'm comfortable with that. And that goes back to getting into a routine, whether you implement a schedule for yourself, like, I'm allot X amount of time to lifting weights, X amount of time to my sleep schedule. I know I work from X amount of time to whatever. And then the rest of the time I got to do whatever I need to do. That's what works. Like for me, for the last probably, year and a half, 2 years, I've been working the same shift. I've been creating content exactly at the same time, just about every time that I am supposed to stream, which is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on Twitch. Link in the description down below if you want to check it out. As well as your boy, Sniping Basher 5. Link is description below as well.
But I'm currently on night shift, so like you were saying, my life has been sucking.
Yes, it's...
But big news coming. Hopefully in the next podcast we'll be talking about it, which could be as soon as this literal next week. Like as soon as I find out. On Monday I'm supposed to be finding out about this new job. I'll be on a day shift there. I'll get back to fucking streaming again. Fucking thank God. Probably 3 or 4 times a week. Just getting there, you know, busting some ass on some Dead by Daylight or raging on Warzone. You never know. But whoever stream you tune into, you're going to be having good time. I can't promise good gameplay, but you're going to be laughing your ass off. Because usually we playing with the boys, and we bicker, and we cuss, and we say shit that's against two of us every now and then, and we have to delete it. But hey, rules are meant to be broken. You know what I'm saying? That's why we came to YouTube. Or maybe. What? You know what I'm saying? And we also plan to, you know, I think we have a lot to do with this channel, because if I get that job, I'll be moving away. Like 8 hours later away. But obviously with the podcast stuff, we'll still on go.
Yeah.
We'll have to make adjustments, and it might be just like this, but there might be some form of split here, and you're looking at my house and his house.
Yeah.
If everyone else can do it, we can for sure fucking figure it out. I can take whatever half, like I can take this mic, get my own mixer, whatever we got to do, and we'll still do our weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever we're going to try to do podcast. Because that's only going to make the podcast better, in my opinion, because now, instead of living very similar lifestyles, I mean, we'll both be on similar shifts, but my line of work will be completely different from his, and I'll be in a whole different region. There'll be a lot of things to talk about. And then we would love to, like, get our friends on. Like, I'm going to have to make, unfortunately, because my bros here can't really top them, I'll have to make, almost threw up, new friends. Yeah, and we'll get some of them on, and we'll also get some of the homies y'all always hearing about, like Colin and Cole and Metter and whoever else, Poca and all them guys, my brothers-in-laws. Like, they want to be on here. And even some of the guys that are in this bourbon group I'm in, like, I've never even met the dudes in real life, and they want to be on the podcast. And I'm like, we're game, bro. Like, as long as you don't come and say no stupid shit where we gotta kill you or something, like, we don't care. Like, if you want to be part, or you have a subject or whatever you want to talk about, just like comment, DM, send it to us however you feel like. If you have my phone number somehow, send it through a text. I mean, everyone else seems to fucking have it, so go ahead. Now, keep putting in those group chats. It's like, see my nudes below. You can comment. I'm like, what's up, boys? How we get in it?
Sending them pics.
And then there's that Karen that's like, I'm calling the cops. How'd you get my number?
Facts,
and I'm like, bitch, all you have to do is type in 5, 10-digit numbers. I'm guarantee it's going to somebody's phone.
But going back to that point, getting in touch with us, I'll link all of our socials down below, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, all that good stuff.
We're also going to link Popoca's cell phone.
Yes. Wait. And his address.
So y'all can send him whatever you want.
If you guys disagree or have a different opinion about what we're talking about or about the bourbons that we try, comment them down below. We'd love to see. Like he mentioned earlier, we are new in a sense of trying higher end bourbons, at least giving reviews on them. We've had a few of them and just drank them, but we've never actually given our opinion on it. So if you have your own input on a bourbon or have any interest of giving us some ideas for what to try in the future, link them below. We'll definitely check them out and try to hunt them down.
Right, like we tried Old Barstown recently, and Flem really likes it, and I don't.
Yeah,
That's just kind of how that works. I mean, I can drink it, but it's not like, I'm not going to pour really, I don't think, like if it was something I bought and tried, it's not something I'm going to go, I can't wait to fucking find that on the shelf again. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of your cheaper bourbons are going to work that kind of way. They're more of like your mixing bourbon, something to make a cocktail with or whatever. Versus if you spend $100 on a bottle, which is about what this costed here in Kentucky, if you're elsewhere, you're probably going to have like fees from wherever, because there might be an alcohol tax or because it ships from Kentucky if it's bourbon. There's also going to be that fee, that whatever it costs for them to get it from point A to point B.
Which to
so
put
for
that
you all, it might be like $120.
To put that into perspective, going back to TwitchCon,
Here we go. Told y'all.
when we were in San Diego, we, as you guys know, are big bourbon fans, and we had actually went to a liquor store right near our hotel, and there was a bottle of Woodford, which usually here in Kentucky sells for about $26 to $30 a piece for a fifth, depending on what you're buying. Was actually what, $60?
I think it was more than that. It was like 65. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
After
65 or
the
70.
California state tax.
But
That's where they got our ass.
we were like dumbfounded because we were like, we could buy 2 bottles in Kentucky for that. But granted, we do make the majority of the bourbons
All of them.
around.
We make all of them.
And
The whiskeys and stuff can be wherever, but
Yeah.
bourbon comes out of Kentucky. I promise y'all last time we was going to look into it, and we did look into it at Basil Hayden. It's made by Jim Beam.
yes,
And founded sometime by the Hayden family back in the late 1700s, right before the 1800s. So it's been around for a long ass time, but in the future, we'll continue to, kind of dive more into it. We didn't really have a lot of time today. We spent actually majority of the time getting the microphones and that kind of stuff working. So hopefully the audio is working as good as it did for us when we did a test recording. But we're going to dive into the third objective, and I'll let Flem read that one and give his piece first, since I usually start.
yeah. So we're gonna speak about gaming and how it creates opportunities to create friendships that could potentially last a lifetime, and how they can be maintained on a consistent basis without actually ever seeing somebody. So, for example, I've got a few friends that I play with a lot of times outside of streaming, outside of creating content, that I just enjoy playing with, that I've never personally met in life. And I'm sure most of you are going to feel the same way or have something similar that you've come in contact with. You got your go-to gamer buddy. Like if you press a button, you're opening up your favorite game, there's at least one person that you're going to at least reach out to play with. They might not be your first choice, they might be. But for a fact you can at least ask them, and sometimes they'll say yes, sometimes they'll say no, but you're going to have a good time regardless. And a couple of those people that I can mention, I like playing with Kiki on Among Us, or once every blue moon when I get on Dead by Daylight.
All right. He's wearing his Versace robe, playing as Ace.
And then I got a good buddy of mine, actually, that I actually met, not in person, but I met him when I first started streaming Rocket League. And his name is Naughty, Nauti. And ironically, I met him in this esports organization I was helping start a long time ago. And we had played after the organization fell apart, and we just kind of continued that friendship for years, and he is actually continuously asking me to play, and I'll do the same. If I get on Rocket League and I don't have anybody else to play with that is normally out of our crew, I'll be like, hey, bro, you trying to grind some ranked? What are you trying to do? You trying to grab some ranked?
Rumble. 3v3. Let's get it.
We in there. We pushing champ tonight. But just as well as I do, it's not easy finding somebody like that. Obviously you're going to trust, you're going to rely on your in-person friends a lot more, but having that ability to have somebody outside of your initial friend group to be able to play with and be like, I know exactly how they play, I know this is what I can expect from them. It's going to create a great friendship when you're playing throughout the entire game.
Right. Exactly. Or even if they're not great at the game and you just know you're gonna have fun, you have a good conversation, that's something you can do there. I moderate for a bigger Twitch channel for Fun Goose, and he's a Dead by Daylight streamer, but there's a lot of the people in there that have reached out to me in DMs, or mostly nasty whispers, but some good, that are wanting the game or whatever. Like, hey, you want to play DVD? Blah blah. Like, I'm like, yeah, let's get it. And then those games kind of branched to more games. Like, hey, do you have this game? You're like, yeah, okay, we can play it. You hit them up on Discord, whatever. You talking. And a big one I'd like to bring up, especially one that I haven't met. I can't pronounce his name, but I think it's Universal Alice or something like Universal. I call him Universal. Never met him before. We've had plenty of great conversation. I'm talking hours, even not gaming, just talking in Discord, chilling, even while watching the same stream, me moderating, him a viewer, talking about whatever else. Like, we both live in the States, so we deal with similar situations. Him and I don't necessarily always exactly think the same, so we can hear each other out. We can discuss. It doesn't get nasty. Because I feel like when you're, like, friendships, you know, like, you're more likely to get emotional responses from people you know in real life versus people you game with is strictly your friendship. Because they might, if you disagree with them, they might be like, okay, yeah, that's what he thinks, this is what I think, and you're kind of like, okay, whatever. And then you game. Versus in person, you're like, then you're starting to realize, like, their lifestyle choices are based on these things and this and this. And that's not something, I think, we don't like to dive too much into politics especially, but if that's something that's going to stop you from being friends with someone, then you're fucking stupid. Like, and I'm just going to I'm going to keep it straight with you, because it doesn't matter if I'm as far left as it gets and he as far right as it gets. There's no reason you can't be friends. Like, or even in a different country, like a friend, Katie, where she fucking live?
I think it's UK?
No.
No?
Boston? No, fuck. Somewhere
Overseas.
Somewhere that's not one of the big three. It's not UK. It's not the Americas, and it's not China.
So Ukraine
or Russia. No, it's not Ukraine. She's gonna watch this and kick our fucking ass.
She's
gonna kick our ass. All right.
I'm actually pissed. I can't remember.
Definitely not Bosnia. New Zealand.
No. Is it New Zealand?
No, I don't think so. I'm about to ask her, what country do you live in again? Question mark. Don't kill me. Love you.
I think it's UK.
Anyways, I don't know where she's from. But obviously her government's very different than ours in the States.
Yeah.
And I'll talk to her about, like, our processes, and she'll talk to me about how theirs work. And a lot of them are similar. And she'll be, like, talking about, like, why she doesn't agree with this person. I don't know that dude, but fuck him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no idea. And then, you know, American politics are a lot easier, I feel like, to keep up, because we always seem to be on the world stage for fucking whatever reason. But versus her, you know, when she was telling me, she was telling me something, I was like, damn, that's kind of fucked up, because, like, literally that would not fly here. Yeah. Like, I don't care who it is, it literally wouldn't. And I'm like, how does that shit work there? And she's just like, you know, because of certain right restrictions and these things, and we're seeing a lot of change throughout the world, especially. Mm-hmm. But that's the beauty of, like, having online friends, you know. And then I have, like, Malika is a partner Twitch streamer on DVD. It's Malika. She's awesome, you know, female streamer. So she has to deal with all the haggling of all that, especially with
what is it, the titty streamer?
Yeah, exactly. But the funny thing is, she doesn't use a face cam, and that's what people like say of her. Her and I fall on literal exact opposite sides, but her and I have awesome conversations. If we disagree, we simply just conversate.
You agree to disagree.
Right. So you're just like, I don't agree with you. You're like, okay, that's fine. Why? And then they tell you, you're like, okay, well, I don't agree with you. Here's why. And then guess what? Then you just fucking play the game. Just the other night, I joined Phasmophobia. I'm fitting to plug him because he's fucking awesome. His name's King Neptune, and I can't remember his name on Twitch exactly, but his name in Phas was Space. They're two buddies. I'd like to link them. Probably put it in the comments, but they were awesome. I got off work, was just enjoying a glass. I was like, I played a couple games of Rocket League, literally clapping booty cheeks. I was like, obviously only little kids are playing right now. I need to let them have a chance, you know, so I'm gonna hop off. I'm like, let me get on Twitch. I'll go find another. I love getting on there and finding someone with like 20, 30 or less viewers and just tuning in, obviously English, because that's all I speak or can read, and hang out with them. And I see him in there, and in his fucking, because on Twitch it has like a free term of a photo, and he's like that, and I was like, this dude's clearly laughing or raging like a motherfucker. And on Phasmophobia, that can only mean one of two things. someone just got fucking clapped and it was fucking hilarious.
Or he got
just
clapped.
So I was like, all right, I'm enjoying. I get in there and I hadn't followed yet. I literally hadn't commented nothing. He's just talking. I've been in there for like 15, 20 minutes. And that's how I'm doing a lot of these streams. Because it doesn't really come down to the numbers. A lot of them, you know, you might not follow or whatever. But it is nice to get out there and kind of see all the different characters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Immediately I find myself laughing a lot. And I'm like, okay, I fuck with this guy. You know, I'm drinking, I'm having a drink. I don't have work the next day. And I'm like, he's like, does anybody in the chat want to play? And I just sent a message. I'm like, hey, man, I've been here for about 20 minutes. I know I haven't chatted, but because I'm just enjoying a drink, just got off work. I was like, you mind if I join? He sent me the link, started playing with him. Immediately, I'm sending clips to Flem because we were just having the funnest time. They were convinced I was dead, so I'm hiding in a closet. And they were like, where's he at? And I typed in the chat instead of talking clearly because I was dead. I was like, I'm in the main bedroom closet. They come over the door. I was like, surprise, motherfucker. And they were like, fuck. Oh my gosh, shit was fucking comedy. And then we were like changing our character. And whatever character you had to impersonate. It was a good time. And now we're trying to link up to try to play Warzone with them soon. So hopefully we'll see where that goes. And that's a big relationship because that might only be one follower or one person you talk to. But then that one person might tell 20 people. And then those 20 people tell 20 more people a piece. And then it's just boom, 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 boom. And out of, like, say 100 people that might hear your name, 2 of them might follow you. Yeah. But it still just continues to grow. They're like, well, he's not a dick. He can join random games and have fun. You know, he can play with his friends and have fun instead of it being strictly like every time I join, he's just sweating his fucking ass off. If that's the streamers you like, that's fine. Every now and then we like to take it serious, but normally we're just bourbon up, sticks up, or
sipping a glass
or whatever.
Sipping a glass. And kicking some ass.
Exactly.
That's all you need, honestly.
Outside of that, I think that wraps up 3 pretty well. I think people who that judge people for having friends that they have never met are just imbeciles. I don't know how else to say it. Like, for a while, like my mom, she was never like objectified by it, but she never understood. She was like, how do you trust someone that you've never met? I'm like, well, Mom, I'm not trusting with my fucking bank information. Like, it's hard to do that with like even your closest friends or spouse or whoever. But like if they DM me because they're having a hard time, like, hey man, like one of my family members just died, or my dog is really sick, or I haven't been able to game because I just lost my job, you know, or because it's happened before. I've hit up someone, I'm like, hey, you want to play this? And they're like, no, I don't have it because I've been out of work, especially with COVID going on. I've been out of work for a little bit. If I have the extra money and it's less than, I feel like 25 or so dollars, gifted. I don't care. I mean, I can't do that for everybody, obviously, but if it's someone that I truly know I'll have a good time playing with them, and I don't mind spending the money, then I'm gonna do it. A really good example is my buddy Poca, who will have on here soon. He's at training for a brand new job right now, and he's gonna be doing pretty good. So we're really excited for him. So hopefully we get him on here and he can talk about his experience with that, and we can roast him and tell him about how we didn't ask and all that random shit. And enjoy hopefully a lot of bourbon. On one of these podcasts, I want to get tore up and just say off the wall shit. Obviously nothing too crazy, but I mean, just really get into it.
That's going to be an intense editing session. Let me tell you that much.
Fact. But we were wanting to play In Silence, which is a great fucking game. It is super fun. That game is scary as fuck. We were like, oh, get on a play. He's like, hey man, I literally have $5 my name. I'm like, bro, the game's $8. I got you. Boom, gifted. And then we played it for fucking like 4 or 5 days straight and had the greatest time playing it.
It was so much fun. So many scares, so many jump scares.
Life is more than money, you know. Like, just get on there and chill, and literally live. Like, just vibe, dog. Like, it's not that fucking hard. Like, I don't know how else to say it. And like, there's some guys on my Steam that I probably haven't played with in months, but if they were to ever send me an invite, then I'm down. Like, that's fine. Like, I'm cool with that. Or if I ever send them an invite, yeah, I know they'll join. And there's also some people who are just part of the community who don't game, and that's cool too. And then you also have the beauty of being a smaller streamer. It's not like what we necessarily depend on. Is that like if a stream came up and we're like, hey Flem, we're gonna go bowling or do something, he can go, hey chat, or hey at everyone, which would basically say, hey my community, I'm going with the homies today to bowl. I'm either gonna A, take off, or B, end a little early so I can get there on time or whatever.
Yeah.
Number 2, when you start deciding you want to take your fitness journey, there are so many options more than just getting a gym membership, because it might be a money thing, it might be a motivation thing, it might be this or that. You can do 10 push-ups. If you can't do them formally, you can DM us and say, how can I do 10 push-ups when I can't do 10 push-ups?
Or how do I correctly do them? Because that's another thing that we could go on and on and on.
Right, and there's different forms, there's different functions, there's different ways to do it to support you. So when you first start, you don't necessarily have to go all the way down, or you can put your knees on the ground so you're not supporting all your body weight, stuff like that.
Yep.
And we got you on that. So the big thing to remember about us is that it's easy to contact us, and we're probably not going to ignore you. We don't care if unless we get some bullshit like it's spam type shit. That's the only stuff we really ignore. If it's someone that's serious or wants to talk to us,
you want to get rich, you want to get 1 million followers.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Add the asterisks above every letter and everything.
Yeah, that random shit.
Oh,
you know.
That's the best.
That's all it takes. If you don't do push-ups, you can do the squats. You can go outside, you can walk a lap around your block, or you can...
A wall sit, or even just sit-ups. There's endless possibilities.
You can take a fucking full pot, your biggest pot, and fill it with water and put your top on it and squat with that.
Yeah.
That adds... A gallon of water is 8 pounds.
And not only that, if you do what he just mentioned, you're not only focusing on your legs or your shoulders or your arms, you're also working on your balance with that, because you're trying not to spill the water. That's ironically, since you brought that up, I cheered it in college, and that was actually one of the drills that one of our professors that was helping out with the team said to do if you were struggling with stuff. Yeah, well, ironically, there's a certain technique you got to do with throwing people in the air safely, but you throw it up like this.
Eat us, defeat us.
If you're keeping that bowl steady as you're going up like this, and you're not spilling any of the water, you're creating that constant momentum going up. So it's one slow motion, but you're still going up continuously, and it's just... I could go on all day about it because I had to do it so many times when you're first learning, and it was a great exercise. And it's actually the reason why I got these boulder shoulders over here.
Right. And number 3, going back to the healthy. We're not gonna hound you about putting down the Lay's chips or the Doritos and not drinking, because here we are on the Bourbon podcast having a sip, We're definitely not gonna hound you, There's lots of things that can support you in getting healthier. If you want to lose a lot of weight, you do have to focus on your diet. That's one thing we will tell you. But once you get down to that and you're still continuing that exercise, then you can pick up back to where you were, right? You can still eat chips. You can still do this. You can still go out to Taco Bell. You can do whatever you want.
In moderation.
Right. Don't do it every day. Or multiple times a day, especially.
Yeah.
But you can sit down and have some chips with your turkey sandwich or whatever you have. You can sit down, have a beer or two while watching your football game. You can sit down and add too much salt to your fucking green beans because that's what you want to do.
Hey, that's facts.
But it comes down to, it depends on where you want your goals, on how strict you have to be. If you're Alec Armstrong, you have to beat every single macro. My man's, I don't think he's, since getting ready for competition, I don't think he's had a single drink of alcohol. All these other things, he weighs all of his food down to the gram, even if it means cutting the smallest sliver off of the fucking asparagus. He'll do it. Because that's what he's willing to do.
So dedication gets you.
It all comes down to what Flem said earlier, reference back, what you're willing to do. Or what you can do. If you can't afford a gym, you can do it at home. If you can go to the gym, start on the treadmill like Ethan. Do your thing. Don't worry about what no one else thinks, because the only people who are worried about someone else in the gym are the fucking dickheads. Yeah. And those are the people that you should be least worried about. And I can think of at least one.
Snakes.
Snakes in the grass, about to mow the grass. but that's for another thing. Probably not for another thing, but we all know that person. So don't compare yourself to no one, because if you have something great, the only way to ruin it is to compare it to something else.
Yep.
Right? So, because Flem, these two beautiful photos back here, he spent God knows how much money on. If he compares it to something else,
The Mona Lisa, for example.
likely to get rid of it and try for something else. You think of this fucking beautiful setup he has and compare it to something else, like that guy that has like a refrigerator fucking computer. Next thing we know, my man's saving up all of his money to have a refrigerator in here.
Yeah.
So what we leave you to is like Nick Merck says, be kind to yourself, be kind to others, peace and love from the Kentucky Bourbon Boys. We'll leave you with what's my last sip, but Flem's got a little bit more. We love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell people, let us know what you want us to talk about, etc. What you agree with, what you don't. Or if we forgot something. We're still practicing this. We tried with the objectives. I think it worked.
Yeah.
But we hope to have more, like things that are a little more simplistic so we can talk about it, get to the next one, talk about it, get to the next one. And then we'll have at the end something really broad where we can really just dive in and get into it. So down below on YouTube, obviously, is where the comments are. All the Twitch stuff, we're going to try to link. Hopefully can put some editing in there where like it's explosions. Gunshots get there, it's like number 6 or something. Or it can be like this.